Beneath the sprawling landscape of America lies a hidden history, etched not in monuments above ground, but carved into the very earth below. This isn't a tale of futuristic bunkers or shadowy government facilities. It's a story that begins much earlier, in the whispers of forgotten tunnels and the secrets they concealed. Our journey begins with the echoes of the Civil War. Rumors persist, especially in the South, of secret passages snaking beneath towns and cities, built for escape or clandestine operations. Think of Columbus, Mississippi, where tales abound of brick-lined tunnels stretching from grand homes like the S.D. Lee House and bustling hotels like the Gilmer all the way down to the Tombigbee River. Were these truly secret escape routes for Confederate soldiers or fleeing citizens? The truth, as is often the case, is a little more complex. Modern engineers suggest these were likely part of a long-forgotten drainage system constructed in the mid-1800s. But even if their original purpose wasn't espionage, the stories have taken on a life of their own, weaving their way into local folklore and hinting at a world unseen. Imagine soldiers slipping away unnoticed, or desperate civilians seeking shelter from the ravages of war, all hidden just beneath the surface. It's a powerful image, isn't it? The allure of the underground didn't end with the Civil War. As America expanded westward, fueled by the gold rush and the burgeoning railroad industry, new reasons to delve beneath the earth emerged. In boom towns springing up across the West, tunnels served a far more practical purpose. They became vital conduits for water, sewage, and even transportation. Some were simple shortcuts connecting buildings, allowing merchants to move goods discreetly. Others were more elaborate, providing access to mines or serving as shelter during harsh weather. These weren't necessarily hidden cities, but they were definitely early explorations of how subterranean spaces could solve real-world problems. Imagine the bustling activity beneath the streets of a gold rush town, the constant movement of supplies and people, all hidden from the casual observer. But it was during the era of Prohibition that America's relationship with its underground spaces truly began to deepen, transforming from practical necessity to something far more secretive and illicit. The nationwide ban on alcohol in the 1920s created a thriving black market, and with it, the need for clandestine operations. Suddenly, those existing tunnels, basements, and forgotten cellars became invaluable assets. Speakeasies, those hidden, bars where the forbidden liquor flowed freely, blossomed beneath the streets of major cities. They were often concealed behind innocuous storefronts, accessible only through secret entrances, hidden doors, or unmarked alleyways. Think of New York City, Chicago, or even smaller towns across the country. Beneath the respectable facade of everyday life, a vibrant and illegal nightlife flourished. But it wasn't just about drinking. These underground spaces became hubs for all sorts of illicit activities, gambling dens, opium dens, and other forms of entertainment that catered to those seeking escape from the constraints of society. Tunnels connecting these establishments became smuggling routes, allowing bootleggers to transport their goods undetected by law enforcement. False walls, secret compartments, and intricate networks of passages ensured that the authorities were always one step behind. Imagine Denver, for example. Its early coal tunnels, originally built to fuel the city's industries, were repurposed to transport illegal liquor beneath busy sidewalks. Speakeasies buzzed with music and laughter, all while law enforcement patrolled innocently above, completely unaware of the shadow economy thriving beneath their feet. And what about Los Angeles, a city often associated with sunshine and glamour? Beneath the Hollywood facade, a network of tunnels connected breweries, hidden bars, and secret escape routes, stretching for over 11 miles. The King Eddie Saloon, disguised as a piano store, became one of the city's most popular speakeasies, accessible through a labyrinth of secret passages. These weren't planned cities, but rather organic extensions of the world above, adapted and transformed to meet the demands of a nation gripped by prohibition. They represented a challenge to authority, a rebellion against societal norms and a testament to the ingenuity of those who sought to circumvent the law. Each bricked-up doorway, each hidden stairwell, each forgotten passage tells a story of secrecy, defiance, and the enduring human desire for freedom. The Prohibition era left an indelible mark on America's underground landscape. It demonstrated how easily existing infrastructure could be adapted for clandestine purposes, and it fostered a culture of secrecy that would persist long after the repeal of the 18th Amendment. These early uses of underground spaces laid the groundwork for the more complex and secretive hidden cities that would emerge in later decades. Spaces designed not just for survival or commerce, but for strategic advantage and perhaps something far more sinister. The seeds were sown, and the underground world of America was ready to blossom. Beneath the placid surface of 1950s America, a silent war was raging. The Cold War, a tense standoff between the United States and the Soviet Union, wasn't fought with bombs and bullets, at least not yet. It was a war of ideologies, of technological one-upmanship, and the ever-present dread of nuclear annihilation. And that dread spurred the creation of hidden cities, not for profit or illicit dealings, but for survival on a scale never before imagined. These weren't just bunkers, they were potential seats of government, designed to preserve the nation's leadership and hopefully its future in the face of unimaginable destruction. Imagine the scene. The year is 1958. The threat of nuclear war hangs heavy in the air. You're in the highest levels of government, grappling with the chilling reality that entire cities could be vaporized in an instant. Your mission? To ensure that the nation, or at least its leadership, can survive such an attack. The solution? Go underground. This is the genesis of a new breed of subterranean space, the Cold War bunker. These weren't like the simple storm cellars of the past. These were complex, self-sufficient facilities built to withstand the unthinkable. And perhaps the most intriguing example of this effort is the Greenbrier Bunker in White Sulphur Springs, West Virginia. On the surface, the Greenbrier was, and still is, a luxury resort, a haven for the wealthy and powerful. But beneath the manicured lawns and elegant ballrooms, a secret lay hidden for over 3 decades. Commissioned by the U.S. government and cleverly disguised as an expansion of the resort, a massive underground bunker was constructed, codenamed Project Greek Island. Its purpose? To house the entire United States Congress, all 535 members, in the event of a nuclear attack. Think about the sheer scale of the undertaking. This wasn't just a reinforced room. It was a sprawling complex, complete with dormitories, a power plant, a water purification system, a hospital, even a crematorium. It had everything needed to keep the legislative branch functioning, albeit in a profoundly surreal setting after the world above had turned to ash. What's even more remarkable is the level of secrecy surrounding the Greenbrier bunker. Construction. Workers, local residents, all were sworn to silence. The bunker was disguised so effectively that even guests at the resort remained blissfully unaware of the hidden city beneath their feet. It was a secret so well kept that it remained hidden until 1992, when an investigative report by the Washington Post finally revealed its existence. But the Greenbrier bunker was just the tip of the iceberg. As the Cold War intensified, the government constructed even more elaborate and secretive underground facilities, each designed to fulfill a specific strategic role. Consider the Raven Rock Mountain Complex, nestled deep within the Blue Ridge Mountains of Pennsylvania. Nicknamed Site R, or the Underground Pentagon, Raven Rock was built as a hardened command and control center, a backup headquarters for the Department of Defense. Imagine a city hollowed out of solid granite, capable of withstanding a direct nuclear strike. That's Raven Rock. It was designed to ensure that the military could continue to operate, coordinate forces, and retaliate, even if Washington, D.C. was destroyed. The complex is a sprawling network of tunnels and buildings, equipped with its own power plant, water supply, and communication systems. It's a self-contained world, capable of sustaining thousands of people for extended periods. The very existence of Raven Rock speaks volumes about the level of fear and paranoia that gripped the nation during the Cold War. And then there's the Cheyenne Mountain Complex, perhaps the most iconic of all Cold War bunkers. Carved into the heart of Cheyenne Mountain in Colorado, this facility was designed to house the North American Aerospace Defense Command, or NORAD. Its mission: to detect and track incoming Soviet missiles and bombers, providing early warning to the United States. Cheyenne Mountain is an engineering marvel. The entire complex is built on massive springs, designed to absorb the shock of a nuclear blast. Enormous steel doors, each weighing tons, seal off the entrances, protecting the facility from the outside world. Inside, a network of tunnels and chambers houses sophisticated radar and communication equipment, as well as living quarters for the personnel who manned the facility around the clock. Think about the weight of responsibility placed on the shoulders of those stationed at Cheyenne Mountain. They were the guardians of the nation, tasked with detecting the first signs of an attack and triggering the appropriate response. It was a job that required nerves of steel and unwavering dedication. These Cold War bunkers represent a significant shift in the history of underground spaces in America. They were no longer about practicality or illicit activities. They were about survival, about preserving power in the face of existential threat. They are monuments to a time when the world stood on the brink of destruction, and humanity desperately sought refuge in the depths of the earth. But these underground cities also raise some unsettling questions. Who gets to decide who survives? What kind of society would emerge from these bunkers after a nuclear war? And what does it say about our priorities when we invest so much time and resources into preparing for the end of the world? The Cold War may be over, but the legacy of these hidden cities lives on. They stand as silent reminders of a time of great fear and uncertainty, and as testaments to the human capacity for both ingenuity and paranoia. And they paved the way for a new generation of underground spaces built not just for survival, but for scientific exploration, private enterprise, and even, some say, clandestine activities that remain shrouded in mystery to this day. Okay, so we've explored the historical roots of America's underground, the Cold War's secret bunkers, but what about the spaces being carved out and utilized right now? The hidden worlds of the 21st century are just as fascinating and sometimes even more unsettling. Let's start with the pragmatic, preparing for the worst. You've probably heard whispers, maybe even seen the glossy brochures, modern survival communities. These aren't your grandpa's dusty, cramped fallout shelters. Think luxury condos, buried underground. One name that consistently pops up is Vivos, X-Point. Imagine this, a sprawling network of hundreds of reinforced concrete bunkers nestled in the South Dakota prairie. We're talking about a repurposed Army munitions depot, transformed into the largest private survival community on Earth. Each bunker, a blank canvas for the apocalypse-ready family. Think of it as a gated community, 6 feet under. The idea is simple, albeit a little unnerving. Societal collapse is coming. Economic meltdown, environmental catastrophe, nuclear war. Take your pick. Vivos X-Point and similar projects cropping up across the country offer a refuge, a place to ride out the storm and emerge to rebuild, or at least survive. These communities are selling more than just concrete and steel. They're selling peace of mind, a sense of control in a world that increasingly feels out of control. They appeal to our primal instinct for survival, tapping into that deep-seated fear that the world as we know it could vanish overnight. And that's powerful stuff. But not all underground endeavors are fueled by fear. Some are driven by the relentless pursuit of knowledge, the quest to unravel the universe's deepest secrets. And for that, you need silence. A silence so profound, it can only be found far, far below the surface. Enter the Sanford Underground Research Facility, or SURF, in South Dakota. Remember the Homestake gold mine we talked about earlier? Well, SURF repurposed that colossal space into a facility that's over a mile underground, shielding it from cosmic radiation. The deepest of deep science, conducted in a realm of absolute quiet. What are they doing down there? Chasing dark matter, neutrinos, the fundamental building blocks of reality. They need that silence to filter out the noise of the universe, to catch the faintest whispers of the unknown. And it is working because SURF continues to be on the cutting edge of scientific discovery. It's a testament to human ingenuity, a reminder that even in the deepest darkness, the light of scientific curiosity can shine bright. Now, let's shift gears. From prepper communities and physics labs, we venture into a realm of pure speculation, a rabbit hole of conspiracy theories, and whispered tales of extraterrestrial collaboration. We're talking, of course, about the infamous, the legendary, Dulce Base. Nestled deep beneath Archuleta Mesa in New Mexico, the Dulce Base, allegedly, is a 7-story underground facility where humans and aliens work together on something. The specifics vary depending on who you ask, but the common threads involve genetic experiments, mind control, and technologies far beyond our current understanding. The story has been bubbling for decades, fueled by claims from individuals like Paul Benowitz, who claimed to intercept alien communications, and Philip Schneider, who alleged a violent firefight between humans and aliens within the base. Local residents have reported strange lights, cattle mutilations, and unexplained phenomena in the area. Is there any proof? Concrete, verifiable evidence? No. The Dulce Base remains firmly in the realm of speculation, a conspiracy theory that refuses to die. Skeptics dismiss it as a hoax, a misinterpretation of classified military activity, or simply a product of overactive imaginations. But the story persists, fueled by the enduring human fascination with the unknown, the desire to believe that something extraordinary is happening just out of sight. Whether it's a prepper community preparing for the apocalypse, a scientific lab chasing the secrets of the universe, or a mythical base teeming with aliens, the allure of the underground remains strong. These hidden spaces, real or imagined, reflect our deepest fears, our greatest hopes, and our insatiable curiosity about what lies beneath the surface, beyond the reach of the everyday world. It also represents a reminder of how much we can all fear the unknown.